how you're doing. Did you have a shit week? Or is it just me? Like, how was your week? Because my week was shit. Let's talk about it. Hi guys. I only know how to be authentic in how I show up generally, and that has to include the space. There's just gonna be weeks where I really don't feel like it. This has been one of those weeks where I don't feel like speaking. I don't feel like conversating to anyone. If I'm going to be 100% honest with you, I had a completely different topic, different episode in mind for today. And I made the decision 2 minutes ago that I'm not going to do that episode. It's a really good one, and it's going to be coming up at some point. But I think I'm just making the decision to be authentic in just what a shit week it's been, and just how I've been feeling, and maybe that's what this episode will be about today. I want to know how you're doing. Did you have a shit week? Or is it just me? Like, how was your week? Because my week was shit. Let's talk about it. So I guess this episode is going to be a let's find out who Kai is, because this is consistent with who I am, and if we're really going to be besties, then that's something you should know. I can be a little moody, yeah, but I'm also dependable and a loyal soldier. So if I commit to doing an episode every Thursday, best believe I'm going to show up every Thursday. What day is it today? I'm filming this on Thursday, and you're going to get this upload on Thursday. Because I just refuse to not honor my word. That's a part of who I am. But also, another big part of who I am is that I'm not going to show up here and put on smiles and discuss things that are not consistent with how I'm feeling. It's it's just been a weird week for me. I guess I have some weeks where my mood dips, you know. I'm still trying to kind of understand what triggered this dip this week. I just, sometimes I get a little overwhelmed with life, like questions. I don't know, am I the only person that asks questions like, what the hell am I doing? Sometimes I just feel like I don't know what I'm doing, and that could be tricks, my mind playing tricks, because there are other times where I'm completely 100% confident in what I'm doing and where I'm going. Well, this week has just been one of those weeks where I guess I'm maybe at a 30% confidence, So this episode is going to be authentic to that mood and that feeling, and I'm going to take it as an opportunity for you to get to know me some more. There's good and there's bad, and I don't know if we want to call these parts bad. Maybe these are shadow parts of who I am, but they're parts that are just as significant and just as worth knowing. So I'll start out with the fact that I'm very new to content creation. This space here on YouTube is brand new. I'm not new to self-expression. I'm completely in love with self-expression. And I've used many different mediums over the past 20 years to do so. So I have my first degree in economics, which, if you know me outside of my professional space, you're like, huh? What? I don't know. It doesn't really jump out to people as something that I would do. How economics was born. Economics was really the baby from me being really good at math, just a math brain kid, and someone who has always been interested in human behavior. And I think I just kind of, when I started, I went to a liberal arts college in Ohio. And when I started there, and you got to get an advisor, and you don't have to choose your major right away. You go to this college, and after the first year, they want you to choose a major. And I happened to take an economics class my first semester, and I just thought my professor was so good at explaining the concepts. So I found out that I understood economic concepts well, if they were taught to me. That's not the way I think naturally per se, but I found that I understood the concepts easily when they were explained to me. And so I kind of took that and ran with it. I took the fact that math was involved, a little mathematics, and also the fact that it involved the study of human behavior, kind of in a different way than I envisioned studying it. Because when I wanted to go to university, I actually wanted to major in psychology. My parents didn't really think, my dad mostly he didn't really think that route was one that would have had me settled and doing, I guess grand things, whatever dreams he had for me. So he did deter me away from that to just kind of explore and find something. And I thought economics was perfect because it was kind of like the baby of my desire to study psychology and me having a natural kind of mathematical brain. So that's how that came about. In my third year, it's a 4-year college, in my third year, I desperately wanted to drop out of that degree and pursue photography. This is just to give you, these things are very important to understanding who I am. So an artist at heart, in love with self-expression, in love with understanding human beings, love, connection, the way minds work, these kinds of conversations that I'm trying to create a space for here on this platform is kind of what I've been in love with for as long as I can remember. I guess what you'd call digging deeper, going below the surface, just having some sort of real resonance with someone with a shared type of emotion or experience, and resonating and connecting on that. I find that fascinating. So yeah, I tried to drop out of my econ degree after having a panic attack in the library at the college I was at, about a paper that I had due that ended up going in late. The paper was well written, but it was late, and I ended up getting like half the marks because it was late. Finished the degree. I did okay. Tried to enter into an MBA right away. I came back to Jamaica, started working where I've been working for 16 years now. That's, within itself, that's a whole thing. Makes me cringe every time I say it, but because this space is safe, right? I'll say I've been working at the same place for 16 years. Some people see this as good. I guess it's a generation thing. I don't really feel great about that. The only thing that gives me solace or makes me, not feel bad is that I've moved around quite a bit in those 16 years. It's not like I've sat in the same desk, same job, doing the same thing over and over. I was in another department and moved around in 3 different units for about 10 years, and then shifted to a newly formed unit as a part of a bigger division about 5-6 years ago. And that was a steep learning curve, and I've been kind of learning the ropes of that. So I'm good. I mean, I like my job most days. I don't hate my job. Do I feel aligned in what I'm doing for the future? Not necessarily. Do I like my team? I like my team. I like the bigger team. We're a small team within a bigger team. I like them too. Do I feel like this job plays on my strengths and my interests? Not necessarily. Do I feel respected after being there for 16 years? Like people know what I'm worth or what I'm capable of, my capacity? Not necessarily. And a part of that is my fault. But, actually, let's give 100% of that to me as my fault, because, if you're not being aligned, I really should leave, But when you have a mortgage payment and you have a kid and you have a car payment and you have to eat and so that's what happens. They call it the golden handcuffs of corporate life. Yeah. So that's also a part of who I am. I will never pretend like, what I'm doing is so horrible and, it's not that at all. There's some days I love what I'm doing, So it's really just thinking about the future. It's thinking about whether I'm using the capacity of just how I think and my brain and the potential that I know myself to have. Am I really using that in the post that I'm at? The things that they value in workers are these things that I value? Are these things that I want to display? Not necessarily, So it's kind of just an understanding of the differences there and how I can really properly align my life at some point, right? So I came back to the story. So I came back to Jamaica. I pursued a postgraduate diploma first in business, and then a master's in business administration, MBA, general management, and then recently I pursued what I call a passion degree in psychology, finally. So that's the full circle of it. That's originally what I wanted to do. When I could afford it on my own, I decided to pursue the master's in psychology. It's a conversion master's, which is, if you didn't have the bachelor's in it, it gives you an opportunity to pursue a higher degree in this discipline. So, coming out of that, I'm still not working in the field, which, it's been kind of tricky figuring out how to make that shift when I don't really have the experience that people would like. So it's a lot of developing transferable skills. It's a lot of just figuring stuff out. And this space is a part of figuring that out. I'm not a therapist, but I know a few people who are amazing therapists. Episode 1 had a great friend of mine who is. There's also someone who should be on an upcoming episode who is also in school to be a therapist right now or a counselor. And I just find this amazing. These are people that I resonate with, just the way that they think, you know. It's very similar to mine, you know. And psychology is so broad. Psychotherapy is not necessarily something that I have to do, but I am so in love with the discipline that I am attempting. This is my way of fulfilling that desire and passion by bringing these types of conversations and discussions to people, other people like me, hopefully. That's you, bestie. Where we can discuss things that we both care about. Things while I go through my own journey of becoming more self-aware. I'm hoping that this encourages you to go through your journey of becoming more self-aware. While I try to show up better in my relationships with people, I hope that this is encouraging you to show up better in your relationships with people. So that's really the goal. So if you are on the journey with me, give this video a like. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. Leave a comment sometimes. I want to know who's watching. Just leave your name, leave where you're from. If you know me personally, then shout out. What's up, Kai? Yeah, I love that. I guess thanks for hanging out with me today. What did you learn about Kai today? You learned that I have 2 master's degrees that essentially I'm not really using. You learned the goal of creating this space and my hope for it in the future. And I hope you really, join the tribe, stick with me, and let's create this together. More to come. I'll do videos like this now and then where you can just learn little tidbits about me. Oh, you also learned that I'm moody and that sometimes I don't really feel like speaking. And sometimes I question life, and sometimes I have shit weeks. Yeah, tell me about yourself. And I hope that these kinds of videos inserted sometimes are okay, because this is me showing up authentically. Love you. See you next week, Thursday. I have a really awesome episode planned.